Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning as always. A beautiful day. We're on the side of the living this morning. If you're here, uh, Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm just gonna kick it off on the monthly time frame here, just to see where we are as opposed to our channel formation here. It looks like we're just outside of the channel here, still kind of struggling to get that move inside where we're flipping it back into support. So, yep, continues to be a huge resistance. Area right here for the price of Bitcoin. But nonetheless, we're still holding up. Um, won't be able to give you too much there. You can see that we are above the point of control at this time, which is sitting roughly around 63,670, just around that number off $63,670 dollars here on the point of control here on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. As long as we're managing to hold here, maybe we can eventually get that close on the week above it, and our next candle will open and back test and treat this as support. Momentum does continue to rise steadily here. Nothing is out of balance at this time. Nothing is out of balance at all. So momentum still pinned to the upside. Bullish divergence still potentially in play here. Uh, so that's a positive there. Push out here a little bit. Now I was seeing a little bit of bearish divergence here on the daily time frame against this high here. We do have some slight bearish divergence until it is invalidated. We can easily invalidate that by getting above our weekly high. So it's nothing to be too concerned about at this time. Now, if we swing fell back below this trend line, then we may have to, you know, change our bias a bit. Uh-oh, getting a couple of alerts going off here. Let me clear those out of the way. Um, but nothing to put too much emphasis on right now. But we do have some slight bear div here on the daily time frame. Uh, uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. I actually clicked on a different chart. I was over there navigating that one. Okay, so on the 4 hour time frame, we did push into our 786 where we got our rejection from. That's also going to be our value area high on the 1 hour time frame, how I have the point of control drawn out. But we did see the rejection there. We're trying to get back into it. Hopefully, we'll manage to get up here. I'm still holding out to see if I can't get my full TP, which is here at the local resistance into our next golden pocket 786 level here, where you can see we've had a couple of rejections here, rejection there. Even if it doesn't touch it, I'm just going to say that it's in that vicinity of the resistance area or zone, because I'm looking at a line, but let's just, highlight the resistance there, resistance there, resistance there again, and the resistance over here. And at any point where resistance there, or where we may have previously used it as support, but our main resistance is sitting up here where we have this order block. And I mean, I just put the line here, but I really don't need that. But yeah, so somewhere in between 65 to 50, just around the numbers up, and 65,800 is going to be our resistance area. But that's our main golden pocket 786 retracement. This one right here is more local, drawn from the pivot here down to the low. As far as the indicators are concerned, we had bearish divergence here on the 4 hour time frame, double swing failure here on the 4 hour time frame here. So you can see the bear div across the high here. Bearish. Oh, let me. I clicked on it, but my computer is running a little slow this morning, so I apologize for that. There we go. So you can see here our bear div there, as opposed to a high. It's a bit exaggerated, but nonetheless, you can see it right there. Double swing failure here at the highs. So a little double top there on momentum for Bitcoin. But we're also putting in some slight bullish divs down here on the low. So I'm still waiting to see if we don't, like I said, looking for price action to be able to swing up here into this zone right here. I'm not gonna be um too bearish on the bear div, because momentum is still up. Momentum is still holding. So the trend regression line is still holding on momentum. So nothing for me is going to change in this regard right here. It could just be waiting again to just swing to the upside and get into that golden pocket 786. Now, if we do start to break down below our zero line on the MACD, then I'll have to say, okay, well, this caved in, but across the multi time frames, it's just different things that I'll be looking at to make that call. Right now, we're still above the zero line, so nothing. Nothing that concerns me right now. And let's push out to our 1 hour time frame. I don't want to go into the 15-minute time frame. It's just going to be a lot more noise. Again, the value area high was tapped in that case. That was our rejection point, and we are holding the point of control. This will be something else that I would take into consideration. Do we start to lose the point of control? Um, and if that happens, do we get a full rotation back down to the value area low? Right now, we're holding. So that's where we're at on Bitcoin at the moment. A little inside scenario right here. Let's see these two inside candles right here at the moment. There might be something on the lower time frame, but I don't want to move too much into the noise from the lower time frames. Momentum is rising here. It can break, obviously. Uh, and it looks like it actually already broke. So about 4 minutes left on this candle here. Let me turn off the QTD. We are below the QTD at this point, but it didn't fire off any bearish. Well, it didn't give me any bearish signs prior to getting that move up. Also, we back tested in here, which just again shows you that there is some bearish divergence. Anytime you break a line and you come back into it like that, can have some bear divs, and nope, you actually don't have a bear div against that high, so that's a good thing. Just another way of seeing that rejection point. Still holding the higher lows and higher highs in here with the local lower lows and lower highs from a lower time frame somewhere. And momentum is clipping a little bit here on the 15-minute time frame. MACD still rising, Delta kind of negative. Bulls are still in control at this time. Yeah, it's a lot of noise here on this time frame, so I don't want to give too much to it. Negative 22, 12. A little mean reversion. Let me see what we look like on that mean reversion. Okay, so we're clustered in right here. So this is basically where we need to see us hold. Since we are clustered in right here, I want to see us get a break to the upside. So we must have low volatility read with the potential for an expansion. Yeah, and we do. Let me adjust this up. I got to get this part done first, and then let me adjust this here like so. This is as much as I have on a low. I'm actually going to have to put it right here because that's pretty much where the pivot on the low is, right through here. Okay. Try to use this channel to the best of our ability, and I just want to cancel out the extension to the left. Okay. Delete this trend line here. And let me just let's make the exception for this, which we're already hitting this right now. All right. So we still stayed above that midpoint right there. Let me add the music in. Um, Always got to blur out my awkward silence. Let me go with some lounge music. All right. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second. I'm gonna move forward with taking a look at Ethereum. um, Bitcoin is basically consolidated. And I can tell you right now what the market is basically looking like in terms of the crypto and why I selected these few that I'm looking at right now. So Chainlink is outperforming the market. We did talk about Chainlink on Monday's stream. And I was saying to you that Link looks really good to me. I think the weekly time frame is showing a lot of promise right now. There was an uptick in the ETF interest. There was some room for price to get a pullback. It did not come back as much as I was looking for at the time, but I still think that that card is on the table for Chainlink to get a little bit of a pullback. For anybody who's interested in getting into Chainlink, I probably would not consider buying here at these highs. We had a DCA plan for anybody who's been here rocking it with me for a little bit. We had a DCA plan on Chainlink. We can look back at a new DCA plan. It is showing a little bit of a rejection on that wick up there. So there we have it for Chainlink. Aave is another one that is showing some strength and it's holding pretty decently. Going to take a look at that. Solana continues to defend its range, and Hyperliquid is seeing a little bit of a pullback. So we're going to look at that as well. There was another one in here, but I don't really cover that chart too much, and it's ton. So I just left that one out. I just figured I'd mention it. But let's see here. Let me just get something straightened out on my chart over here. I just want to cool off some of the noise I have on these charts over here so you guys aren't overwhelmed. Excuse me. All right, so here we go. Taking a look at Chainlink. You can see we're seeing a little bit of a rejection right here on Chainlink. We did have this breakdown below this trend line right here. We went sideways for a minute here, building out some sort of a wedging structure in here. And then we got the breakup. So I ended up taking a little bit of a long position in here. It's probably getting to a point where I need to close it out. We are seeing a little SFP here on the 4-hour time frame. We are above I think this is a weekly. No, it's a daily. Okay, so we are above the prior day's high. Kudos there. Usually, like I said, you see some sort of bear div in here on that. So it could just be the finishing wave in here for Chainlink. Yeah, so you can see the difference between this high and where Chainlink is right here. RSI is still a little bit positive, and the MACD and my MACD is positive right now, and the delta is attempting to cross the zero line, which is why I'm still holding on to it. But I have a stop loss in place for it. If this does get a little bit more bearish in here. But like I said, again, this could just be a finishing 5-wave move right here up for Chainlink with the bear div. I do want to see it close above this wick in order to confirm that. If it doesn't close above here, then I'm going to feel some kind of way. But just a few dollars off from hitting the next major pivot, which is sitting at 989. So the next major pivot for Chainlink Again, it's $9.89. I'm gonna go ahead and delete. No, actually, I'm gonna leave that there. That way, I'm aware of the bearish divergence that's in play, in case I don't have this up like that, like so. But the move still looks pretty decent. Again, the weekly time frame is what I'm really basing my analysis off of. So I think that chain link is an absolute monster right now. We'll take a look at the weekly time frame. And let me just turn a couple of things off right there. Let me turn that off. And let me clear out some noise. Turn that off. I'll keep the majors going. Um, So again, and I covered this on Monday as well. So you can see the bearish divergence here on the weekly time frame, which must be invalidated. This is why I do say that we will be looking for some sort of a rejection here on chain link for a pullback and then continuation to the upside. Everything else I notice on the chart, the bullish divergence down here at the lows here, pushing into the strength. The delta positive, the MACD positive, but still below the zero line. So right now it is still just corrective, and it's not a reversal at this point, or it's not positive for the. Well, let me not use those words because I just used them. It's not a trend, so you don't have a trend right now in here. There's no trend. The only trending indicator you have right now is this TMA. That's the only trending indicator you have right now. We're below the R mean, or, and if you don't want it, you may not have the R mean. You can use the EMA. So we're below the 200 EMA. They're very close in proximity to each other, almost just sitting on top of each other. So we're below the 200 EMA. MACD is below the zero line, and this is the only fast signal that we have, or the only signal that we have of some sort of a trend change possibly in play is this one sitting right here. That's the only one. And then of course we have indicators in here. Other indicator metrics, volatility, momentum, and things like that are positive. But overall, we don't have a trend change just yet. We have the potential for something great to take place here on Chainlink. Again, that next major pivot is 989. Between that, it's just space and opportunity. We have to look at some volume to see where we may pause out at, but I would just be looking at 1125 afterwards. So somewhere in between these two zones right here. Looking for that cool off. For anybody who's interested in getting in, I wouldn't buy it here. I wouldn't buy it in my, to hold like trades. Okay. I wouldn't buy it to hold in here. So let me block this since I noticed it traveled with me. All right, let's move forward here on Hyperliquid. So I closed out my Hyperliquid long yesterday. Um, Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I would like to tell you that I wish I'd taken profits up a little bit higher. Overall, we are still above our macro value area low in here, which is a good thing. This could end up being a support zone in here. I just started to see a little bit of weakness here on the 4-hour time frame, so I sold out. I will be looking to get back in, but right now, just sitting on my hands. I noticed that we broke the momentum here. So the very first momentum break took place, and then the second one took place, and it's like, yeah, let me just take a pause right here. We will put in some bullish divergence, so momentum won't match on the end. We could stay here and consolidate for a while before things start to change, but delta is below the zero line, which means that the MACD could follow behind it. Right now it is still positive, still above the zero line, so that's a good thing. We're testing the mean at this time. Well, we might even be slightly below it. Oh, here we are. Yep. So we're sitting directly on it, which is going to be this green line right here. So we are back testing the mean again. I can tell from the ribbons here that the MACD, how far it is from crossing the zero line. You just put these two together and that's how far it is from crossing the zero line. So right now it's kind of okay. I do want to continue to hold the value area low, but if I can get something a little bit more in here, then maybe I could reconsider. I think this one right here is going to be like using a 200 EMA. I can tell you better than I can show you better than I can tell you. So let me just switch over here to an EMA. Let me do that. Yep. So you can see this green one right here. This is a 200 EMA. So they're pretty close, neck and neck. I choose this over the 200 EMA personally. It just sits better against price action, in my opinion. So when you see that over here, that's why I say you can just say EMA if you wanted to. They're pretty similar in terms of positioning. The way I look at this is just pure volatility. I don't look at this like, oh, okay, we're above the 200 EMA. No, just being above the 200 EMA and the rest of your ribbons are below it. It's a way of looking at volatility and expansion. You want to see those ribbons cross above that 200 EMA, and without those crossing above it, then that just leaves room for price action to fall back down. It makes it less reliable of a situation to just be above the 200 EMA and then the ribbons are not above it. So whatever is moving faster, if it's just your slower ones that are moving faster than this right here, or let me put it like this: if they're still below here, it could just be temporary volatility to the upside, and then you roll back below this 200 EMA. So I don't put any weight on that 200 EMA in that regard when I can see that the rest of the ribbons that are lower than that 200 are below it. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be in synchronized order, numerical order, and it's not. Therefore, it just implies volatility and expansion. But again, on the move down, do want to see this value area low remain support. That's when the concern starts to come in. But I am out of my my long position at this time, since we have broken momentum to the downside plus the MACD cross in here, or the delta cross. So I'm gonna do away with that. If I do take another entry on that, I will be sure to let you know. Okay, BNB is one that I did take an entry on. My alert went off. I'm willing to take a loss on it because it doesn't always pan out that way. Sometimes it'll be like, hey, it's crossing above this trend line. You know, momentum is starting to break to the upside. And then because it's a 4-hour time frame, I have to wait until that 4-hour candle closes to confirm that momentum, because once that candle closes and if it pulls back, you can see we don't actually have a break. So I entered on this one, this candle right here last night. At the time, the momentum was pushing up. I know that it has the potential to not actually be true because I have to wait for that 4-hour candle to close, but it's a loss I'm willing to take. It won't do it to me too many times before it's a winning trade. So just that one entry, that's it right now. Next time it goes off, it may be more thorough, but I am looking to take a long on, well, I'm looking for my long to play out here on Binance Coin. If it doesn't, then I mean, my strongest confirmation is going to come from the delta getting above that zero line. Right now, that's where it's going to come from. You can see how it's down below it, not recovering above it. It's been rising positive on and off, going from purple to red, which means momentum is pending back down, up, down, but it hasn't crossed that. So a change of behavior on this oscillator can help me confirm, okay, this time is real. I'm willing to sacrifice one entry. The second one is gonna have to work. Okay, I know what I need to change my I need to change my criteria on the second time. So that's what I'll be looking for here on BNB Binance Coin. And then Solana here. So Sol right now is just back at this trend line here. I went with this trend line over the VWAP because you can look at it from a point of VWAP as well, but VWAP moves around and that trend line doesn't. So I just moved away from the trend line, from the VWAP. I'm sorry, I moved away from the VWAP and just went wick to wick on the trend line. This is where Solana has been struggling here, but when I was looking at it, it seemed like it's going to get into here. It seems like it's going to get into this golden pocket 786. So I saw these couple of rejections right here. You see all these red rejection candles right here. You can even see the wick on top of this one right here. It's not a bad place to look to take a short on it because it has rejected here multiple times, but I personally just wouldn't go for it. I just wouldn't go for it. I can see the momentum is still coming up. It is still rising to the upside. I don't want to play around with that. So for me, as long as this thing is two-step into the upside, I'm not trying to get in the way. Yeah, as long as it's two-step into the upside like it is, it just tells me right now that there is potential for it to get into this golden pocket 786 before it rejects. Like it tapped this plenty of times to a point where it can now break it a little bit better. Still struggling, and it is a 50% retracement in here as well. A little bearish on the delta, but pretty far off from the zero line. So maybe it consolidates here for a while. If it starts to consolidate below this 50 for too long, then there's a better chance that it does roll over. So may not go too far. It could just do like it did right here, but you can see here how the delta just started to trend downwards, and then finally the MACD caught up with it, and then the delta crossed below the zero line, and then you just kind of drifted, but it stayed close to the zero line. That's the difference. When it stays close to the zero line, then there's a chance for it to break back to the upside, or it's looking to break to the upside. It doesn't just hug the zero line to hug the zero line. If they stay pinned around the zero line on a breakdown, then it'll be looking to pop up just like over here, staying close to the zero line. This is the point where it starts to stay close to the zero line. But if they drift down below, like away from it, then you get this kind of stuff right here. So right now, it's trying. I do see this one getting the move into this golden pocket 786. I'm gonna add that potentially because momentum is still rising up here on Solana. So I think that it looks absolutely great, and I would not be one to stand in the way. I would not be one to stand in the way of it. Let's take a look at. It was also trying to get an expansion on the Bollinger Band. Now the palm is open. I was saying this on Monday. I was looking at Bitcoin. I was saying Bitcoin didn't look like it was going to get that break up Monday morning, but the palm was open, and that was the one positive. That's what I said. The palm is open. So that's the positive. But what I usually look for in terms of the numbers for the expansion weren't adding up. And then we got that break to the upside because that palm was open. So palm, it has actually started to, the palm is going sideways. Now this palm was open. It did have an open palm. It did. This was turned down. That's an open palm. When the lower one turns down and the upper one turns up, that's an open palm. It did have it. It doesn't have it right now, but it's still in the trap. Okay. It is still in the trap between standard deviation 1 and 2. As long as it's there, if it starts to lose that standard deviation one, then I can say, okay, probably gonna come back to the mean, do a mean reversion, which is gonna be at 76. But right now it's holding on to that 70, let's just say 77. As long as it's trading in between here, it can keep doing that and keep going up. Trading in between here, it can keep doing that and keep going up. Once it starts to lose it, then you can say, okay, come back to the mean, lose the mean, come back to the low. As long as it's trading in between the trap, as long as it's in the trap, just treat it like it is. Bearish to bullish. As long as it's in that trap, it's bullish right now. So I don't have any issues with it, even though it's at the resistance right now, 50% field retracement level. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum with the rejection here. Let me just slide this out. Value area high rejection right now. Um, this was a little bit too close to the value area high and the point of control to be a successful breakout. Um, let me see where we're at there. Also the golden pockets. So 786 starts getting to this area right here, into the order block at the 786. Yeah, a bit touchy here for Ethereum. But yeah, I mean, nothing suggests that the trend is toppy. Just hitting the golden pocket and the value area high and point of control. Basically, that's it. As it does make this attempt, as it made this attempt to get this break out of this symmetrical triangle right here. I would keep an eye on Delta, as it is drifting a lot closer. You can see it right here. It's at 145. So it is drifting a lot closer to the zero line. I mean, and that's what happens. Again, down, and then it starts to break down below there. So it is resistance, obviously. And usually I go with a bottom momentum line. I'm just going to stick with this one. It had one swing fell back in, and then a swing, a recovery outwards here. Look at that chisel right there. Hmm. Momentum seems like kind of garbagey. I'm just talking about another momentum right now. Seems like garbage. Um, little bear div. So a little bear div across here too. Mm. Bear div into resistance. Yeah, I don't like that. That's not cute at all. You bear div into resistance. Usually see the rejection. So we could open up and Ethereum rolls over. I'm gonna just leave this as is and look for a swing fail on that to take place. A nice little topping candle right here, just like it got over here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see the momentum shift to do anything about this. So Underperforming Ethereum right now. Definitely underperforming Ethereum right now. But that is those. And so I was going to take a look at Aave. I think you're going to have a better chance on the BNB long right now. Um, Possible Solana. Those would be my two picks right now. Um, Chainlink is getting toppy. It still has some room that it could try to push up a little bit more, but again, you got a macro pivot sitting right there. So let's just say that it breaks above it and comes back below it and then can't get back above, because sometimes they'll break them and come back and back test them and then they fail horribly. Yeah, it would be. I'm not going to take a short because I don't want to fight the trend. I'd rather sit on my hands and wait for a long opportunity to go with the trend than risk trying to go against it. That's how I feel. Um, so BNB is going to be, if I had to pick one, I would say BNB. The setup on it looks a lot cleaner. I like clean. All right, let me see Aave. And so I actually haven't looked at the Aave chart lately. I don't even know where I have it at, and I hope I haven't passed it. I did something one day in here, and it changed. It reordered everything. Maybe, oh, there it is. I did pass it. Okay, so Aave. All right, a little bit of a rejection. Looks like a little bear flag. At least it looks like it on the surface. Above the value area low. See if this is a golden pocket back test that it did. I'm just do it off of that low there. Let me get rid of the 50. Let's get rid of that 50. So it was a golden pocket back test right here. Maybe if it drops down and comes back into the golden pocket, I can get interested on it or in it. And this thing is barely hanging on right now. But nonetheless, in terms of the larger cap altcoins, it is performing better than many of them. Aave gold deposits surge as XAUT gains ground. Yeah, it's another one where the deltas, yeah, MACD tried to push up, rolled over. Or maybe we get a better chance at an entry if it comes back to the value area low. That's something to consider. This doesn't look too enticing right here. I'm gonna drop to let me try 1 hour time frame, just kind of see what that looks like. I'm not gonna call it a bear flag. It's too extended to be a bear flag. It stopped being a bear flag when this on this candle right here. If it had the potential of being a bear flag, it was between these candles right here, and it stopped being that when this one right here pushed up. So, and then it extended. It's almost as long as what a pole would be. Yeah, my only reason to touch it would be if it came back. Just, I think everybody get bearish if it comes back to this value area low, but me, either double right here, and I have to wait and see how it does. So either a double back here, and I'm gonna assume that it can get up. I'm gonna push it up into where this momentum came in at. Either that or it'll have to be something like this for me. I'm just gonna block these to this time frame because I need to zoom out and see how much that affects the market structure for our daily. So I'm not gonna, yeah, looking at the daily, I wouldn't be too concerned about the market structure from a daily stance. It's to say if something like that were to happen, something like that were to happen, it wouldn't be a market structure situation for me. Um, I'm looking to take one from this value area low if that happened. Mm. Yeah, it wouldn't even concern me on the 4 hour either. Just wanted to make sure on that. Mm-mm. That touch didn't. Mm. Yeah, I can see I took my eyes off of Ave for a minute, but I'm really feeling Ave right now. Really feeling this. So if market opening, I can get into any one of those entries right there. If it makes sense, if market opens and then it does something like that, then I will be interested in taking that long position on Ave. All right, let me put this back. Let me just see what Zach is doing real quick here. I haven't really looked at it. resistance wall for it. I'm just gonna give this some breathing room. All right, that's gonna be that in terms of crypto. Um, Back over here on chain link with this. So again, I'm in the chain link long. I just taken it because an alert went off for me on this one. I'm also in the BNB, which, like I said, is down. It's down a little bit right now. Let's see if I can get it to act right. Okay, I share that as well. So this is the chain link. Just a quick little entry here at these, right in here for this breakout. So once the alert went off, I just jumped into it. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it isn't. So I do it based on that as my strategy, and then I'm down on the BNB because the alert went off for it, and then it decided, nope, I'm not. It decided, no, I'm not gonna go through. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm only gonna do it if it means, if there's a chance for it. So you can see I entered in at 6:04 when my alert went off, and then it rejected because it's a 4-hour time frame. I have to wait. I'm not gonna wait. So yep. So I'm down on that. All right. Just move forward here. Without naming names, down at the bottom there, a little bit on the U.S. market here. So I done a little posting the past couple of days. And of course, I talked about SanDisk on Stream on Monday. I started talking about MU on yesterday, I believe it was, because I was watching that one too. But MU, so I did 2 posts on MU. So there is some insider selling. It was a Form 144 filed yesterday, and again, they have about 2 days following that if they've sold to actually make a statement on that. Typically, when I see the 144, then selling is already taking place. So um, on that post there, let me just look back at it. Again, my stream is running a little bit slow right now. So I posted that right here. The new SEC filing summary for MU, which was filed yesterday. You can see the date of notice was given on the 18th, which was yesterday. It's Micron Technology. The number of shares to be sold is 15,000. So 15,000 shares looking to hit the market or has possibly been in sale since yesterday. Market value around $14 million. Just around at 14 million. It's a nice chunk of change right there. Approximate data sale is always going to be somewhere around, well, when they file it. So may have started selling that yesterday. So I mean, there you have it. MU. It's been struggling with that trend line right now, but we've gotten to a place where we talked about. Yeah, we did talk about Micron on Monday. I take that back. We talked about Micron on Monday, and I was saying to you on Monday, um, I know I didn't post it in here. But we did talk about it on stream, so you can go back and watch that stream from yesterday. But what I shared from the stream, I also put in this post right here. So we were looking at this right here, 1916, possibly being a low for Micron. And I used the numbers 1916. I mean 916 like I used right here. So it looked like it was like a five-way move in here on Micron here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here on Micron. I wanted to wait for the 4-hour momentum break, which meant it took place right here. So the 4-hour momentum break shifted right here for a short position. You could have did like the back test into the golden pocket 786, which is what that was. But I just want to make sure that momentum is actually looking to roll over. All right, so that's that entry right there. We got down here to the 786, and I was like, this fifth wave is starting to look a little bit steep, man. It's gonna have to hold right here, because if it don't hold here, then we're gonna see that 916, the 916 for sure. Um, yeah, so that was the play. And right now, the 200 EMA is at risk. It is trying its best to hold on right now, for dear life. Yeah, that's the trend line. That's the 916 right there. I added a box in here just to consider a zone on it, instead. And then, come on, Slowpo. Come on, Slowpo. You can see right there. You see that low? What's that low? 916 on the dollar. 916 was that low for that green candle right there. But it's struggling, baby. It's struggling. It's struggling. But this was the original note right here. I just wanted to go with a zone instead. Just kind of give myself some extra room in here if I attempt to take a long position off of it. Um, Momentum has, oh, I didn't mean to lock that. I want to take that off. So this again, and like I said in the notes that I did when I posted on it, you got the selling pressure for one. So you got the 15,000 shares. It's probably already floating into sales. And bulls have been having a hard time um, buying into this move to the downside. It looks controlled. I can't say that. It doesn't look aggressive to the downside, even though when I look at my oscillator, like when I look at the RSI, it's just straight down. Like there has been zero pivotal moments, zero pivotal moments for it. I did try this long. One other time my alert went off on it, and then I did do it again when my alert went off for this green candle move up, but it's already taken all of that back from me. I'm trying not to let it go too prematurely. As long as it's still above that 43.79 on the RSI. But once that's done, then I just have to kill it again. Like it was just straight down, just straight down. It didn't do this right here. It didn't do any of this. So it's like, man, it looks aggressive from the RSI, but then I look up here and it just doesn't. Well, not there, not at price action, but when I look over here, I don't get aggression from this move down. It is what it is, though. MACD might be preparing to cross the zero line. That means you're going to lose 200 EMA. 200 EMA is right here on this back test of what appears to have been a ascending triangle. So if it fails on this back test, then I mean the drop can get heavy. I mean the next place I would look at is going to be the point of control. And then you just have to come back to your value area low. But yeah, it's at a critical point right now. It's at critical right now. Unfortunately. That might have been the pivot that I need because I didn't even draw anything through here to kind of see like what my momentum is feeling like because I don't have anything. Even when I look down here, when I look at this, like I got zero vibes. I got nothing in here. This suggested it could round trip because this is still sitting all the way up here and it's not traveling. It's not traveling. It's sitting all the way up here. This suggested it could round trip price action back to the top. That's what I take from that. It can round trip. Um, Usually I'm looking for compression in here. I'm looking for volatility to start to come in for the reversals. I don't have that again. I don't have that. I just have a wide opening right here. So think of it like an open mouth on a Bollinger Band. Think of it like an open mouth on a Bollinger Band. That tells you where your volatility range is. So again, suggest it could just round trip back to the upside, but I won't know that right now. I mean, if it don't hold here, then I cut. I think I'm down. Right now, am I down? Because I mean, it ain't gonna match if it curl back over on you. That's for sure. You can be up when you take it and down when it come back and test that momentum level. So yeah, I'm down right now on that one. About 3% down. Um I started to just cut it at break even and I was like, man, I don't wanna I'm just gonna let the momentum shift. And if it I mean it bounced off of the 786 retracement. I moved to a lower time frame so we can see that. Yeah, my computer is lagging and I hate to restart, but I'm gonna have to restart. So you can see it bounced off of a 786. I figure, okay, if it comes back in, maybe it'll just do that, and then this will be a higher low because it did change some market structure in here on the 15-minute time frame. And believe me, it had a hard time doing it. So when I say bears were absorbing any move to the upside, that's exactly what's been happening in here because it's just been bear div after bear div after bear div after bear div. And you have to consider what's being sold into the market right now. So you can see that first bear div and then that second one and how I was counting the wave 5 right here. Like it needs to hold. And then we got a slight bounce and then it said, nah, honey. And another bear div came in and dropped it down. And then all the bullish divergence underneath, every time it tried to come up, it came up with the bearish divergence. So bears are in control. 15,000 shares being sold into the market. Okay. Bears are in control. And this is just me looking at it. Every time it comes up, where does it fail? It didn't do it right here that time. So I had to look at my next level up. So I can delete this one. I had to look at my next level up, look for that swing failure on that momentum, and booyah, down. But I decided I'm gonna hold until that momentum shifts on the 4 hour again. If it loses that, then I'm out. Right now it's holding it. If you were going to attempt the long on it, now would be your time. And you're closer to an invalidation if it breaks down. Okay. If it breaks down, you're closer to an invalidation if you take the long entry now. It's not financial advice. I'm just telling you if you're interested in the MU play, where it is now, you're going to be closer to your invalidation because it's sitting directly on that momentum line on that 4 hour time frame and the back test to the 786 golden pocket. Okay. This part has already happened. All right, so I'm going to move this up. I'm going to look at this one now for another swing failure, but hopefully this is a higher low and then it starts to I mean, like I said, the 4 hour, the way this looks on the 4 hour time frame suggests it can round trip itself all the way back up to the high. But again, bears have been in control of the situation with MU, and I would not be looking for too much. I just wouldn't be looking for too much on it. Um, Let me go back over here on this 4 hour here. Let me drop this here. Let me drop that. Squeeze this in a little bit right here. It was also a mean reversion on the daily time frame. That's another reason why I jumped into it, because we hit the mean reversion on the daily, which means the daily time frame is still okay. The weekly time frame is still okay right now as well, and the monthly time frame is still okay. It's the lower time frames for Micron. But we were, again, we were looking at this and identifying that is probably, a chance to take. I did not look at short positions on Monday. I looked at long opportunities, and we looked right here. We looked at another one in here as well, but it moved straight through that. It was the original trend line through here, moved straight through that, and then this was the last one that we were looking at here. And again, like I said, this is. Let me just go with the EMAs and. Oh no, wrong one. My bad. Let me just go with the EMAs here and make that easier for us. So dragging on me. I haven't used my alpha tool in a long time to see where some entries could come in at. It hasn't been firing off a lot of the entries that I thought that it would have done too. I don't feel like working on it anymore, but I just like, let me just bring it back out and use it for something. Let me just see if it does anything for me. All right, so you can see right here, it is at the 200 EMA right here, green line, 200 EMA. That's the 400 down here, 200 EMA right here. We lose here, which is what I was saying. We lose here, then it's a problem. So it needs to hold up right here. Again, that was also the mean reversion on the daily time frame. You can see the daily is at 52 right now. So it tells you that the RSI dropped into a 50 on the daily time frame. So it back tested that mean reversion to see if we can't hold up and then get that push up and out of here. Pretty close to seeing the MACD cross here on the 4 hour time frame. So that's kind of a scary thought right now. But if you were going to take a long, you would be close to an invalidation if it decided to roll over. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, you got the value nodes through here as well, right through here. So these two nodes right here. And again, if it loses that, then you don't have a choice but to start kind of looking down here at the point of control, where you're also going to have the 400 EMA sitting at, which is less relevant than the 200. But once you lose that, because we straight up lost it, that initial move, we straight up lost that 200 on the 15-minute time frame real quick. So that's where you're at with that. Also, it was like trading in between the pocket. It was trading in the pocket right here, and I started to get a little bit bugged out about it. Trading in that pocket right there. But like I said, it could round trip itself all the way back up here. So you can see how the mouth is open right here. Your volatility range anyway. It's not open, but your volatility range is right here. And again, that suggests that it could round trip. So maybe as markets are trying to price in the Jackson Hole. Maybe they are trying to price that in. We do have the Fed minute meetings today at 2 p.m. So do bear that in mind. It may have some impact. It just kind of depends on what's being said during that meeting. Bitcoin's getting that breakout. Oh, baby. Ew. Let me check back over here real quick. Okay, chain link pushing. All right, let me see what my BNB is doing real quick here. I'm sorry, I don't have you guys over here looking at it. I see trying to get a little push up. BNB is holding on that break on that momentum again. That's when I said that you might And if it fails, it's gonna roll it back over. Ethereum pushing through that value area high real quick. I'm sorry. Let me just put you over here on it while I'm running my mouse. So Ethereum's trying to get through this value area high right now. Take a look back over here. Solana pushing again. I think it has the potential to get in here. BNB and Solana are definitely looking a little bit better in my opinion. Hyperliquid. I can't do that one right now. Chainlink decided to push back up, but it's toppy nonetheless. And like I said, BNB right here. Um, it's showing me that it wants it again, but like 51 minutes left to see if we can't confirm on that. And then of course over here, just taking a look at Bitcoin. They following behind Bitcoin, which means Bitcoin dominance is up right now with that little breakout of the parallel channel there. All right. And back to our regularly scheduled program. So that's my feelings right now. That's my feelings right now. Again, like it's getting further and further away on you. If it's gonna hold up right here, that was your chance. That was your chance. If it's gonna hold up, you closer to an invalidation by taking it has the potential to round trip itself all the way back up to the upside. All right, let's move on to SanDisk because that was one that we were looking for the short position on SanDisk. I showed 2 entries on SanDisk. We have been watching it for a couple of days. It is starting to show some recovery as well. This one right here, the swing point is off a little bit on this one. So you have to take this for how I have it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. So it does imply that it could see a rejection right here. You can see how it's already got that little candle rejection right there. But it was performing a lot better than MU. It was, and now MU is starting to perform a little better than SanDisk at this point. But we was watching for a SanDisk retracement. We knew that the first setup through here that we were looking at did not. This is coming from that alpha indicator that I have. It might start out with something like I just want to see where it fires off something, but this is what that is coming from. So let me get this off of my chart. Hold on. Because it's coming from that knee right here. So I was telling you at the time, I just want to see the momentum break. The entry stayed the same for the position because we were looking at the idea of the value area high and the order block that was through here. It broke through, it took out the high on that order block, and then it came back down with the momentum break. So nothing changed. I explained in the message that I put on X that the only thing I did was adjust the stop for the new information because the stop was confined to this high right here. So you can see how it went over that a little bit, but it wasn't a just degen in entry. I said wait on the momentum shift, and we got the momentum shift right here, which was coming back down below that value area high. Boom, boom, boom. And was looking forward to get down here into the order block top high on the fair value gap right here. A little bit recovery in here so far, but that was a good play, guys. That was a good play. Now, where you decide to take your money at is your business. All I can do is look at potential opportunities. We saw the toppy signals in here. I think it was last weekend. Yeah, prior weekend or this past Friday or something like that. It was last week though. We saw the toppy signals in here and started looking for these pullbacks to take place. So there we have that. We saw toppy signals on quite a bit of stuff. We saw toppy signals on Intel. We saw toppy signals on TSM, but TSM has started to recover that day because TSM had this wedging structure in here. You can see how they play the shenanigans. Boy, you see how they play games? This is how they play games. So you can be on to something and then they come back like, let me shake them out. They will try to shake you out. They will try to shake you out. This was rising. We saw that. We saw the breakdown end up happening, and then it did this. and this one would have got you. It would have gotten you. So the momentum. Let me make sure. You know what? Let me drag this one. This one had an alert on it anyway. That ain't gonna work no more. Oh, I would have had to. Sorry. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. You see that back test right there with the bear div at the highs. That's how they get you. They try to shake you out. They try to shake you out. So it got the initial momentum break right there. Sometimes it gives it to you better. I love when it gives it to you a little bit better. So it got the momentum breakdown right there. And then they like, nah, run that thing back. They ran it back. It rejected there, put in the bear div, and then you got to move down. So it happens sometimes. Sometimes I'll hold through that kind of situation, and sometimes I won't. It just depends on how I'm feeling. So we saw that on TSM. We also saw on Intel, the situation here in Intel. We saw that as well, in here on Intel. So Intel. Right now, I do want to say this on Google, right? Because I'm still holding on to this Google long position. I am a little bit down on Google at the moment. Google fired off again. Like I said, sometimes it'll fire off and give you the signal and say, "Hey, we about to move," and then it's it 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 just doesn't sometimes. But it ain't gonna keep doing it to you. And then you managing your risk and all of that good stuff, you're gonna make all that back. If you lose a little something, you're gonna make all that back. But that's my strategy. I did this initial break right here. I initially went into profit. It came down because there was a secondary break right here. And you can see we've been stalling out at this one. So that's what happened with me. I took the initial. I want to be fast. It came up and it didn't manifest. So we've been stuck underneath this one. It is what it is. I also saw a little bit of a concerning signal show up in here for it was a golden pocket back test too. So that was another driver for me. Um on my QTD, I see my QTD turning up bearish when I see that. Um it's been running behind it. And anytime I see the QTD rising, it's concerning. I keep going over to look, I keep going to the Fed, to the SEC page, trying to see who's trying to sell, I've been panicking like crap. Well, it's barely look, it's barely moved. It's barely moved off of that. But I keep running over there trying to see. I'm giving myself some space on this one. I'm giving myself a little space on this one, but yeah, I mean we're hanging on around this point of control. Usually when a break happens and it starts to do anything below that break, it usually puts in bullish divergence. Okay, so I could see down through here. Let me make sure though, because I start saying something and then it'd be like, girl, you wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I can see I'm wrong already. My computer running slow as crap. I'm wrong already. I'm wrong already. Yeah, but it might put in some bullish divergence. Right? It might end up just putting in some bull deals. Maybe, maybe. But it's at least this right here is straddling around the zero, so I could possibly expect some sort of a big breakout. I don't know. I'm a little worried. Again, I'm a little worried anytime I see this turn up like that. That's bearish. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see any sort of move up. So this is, let me use something so it'll stop highlighting that position. This is moving up. That means um, bearishness. It's a lack of strength coming in here somewhere, but I can't find it. I can't find it because we stabilized, but I don't like to see that. I don't like to see that at all. That's bearish. You see how it did that jump right over here? I don't like to see that. That's that cloud moving away, and then that thing comes out of the low. It's still near it right now. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm a little concerned about this play on Google, but I'm still holding on to it nonetheless. Also, Apple was Apple fired off again through here. So you have the initial Apple break right here, momentum shifted right here for the breakup on Apple. And it's been holding through here. I was starting to see it roll down below this line earlier today. This morning, it recovered it. I did re-enter onto the Apple position. I did close it out. Remember, I told you that I closed it out, but this was still holding up. This same position is still holding up, but I did end up. Initially, I did close it out, but I re-entered on it. I should have took my profit when we were up here. I saw us hitting the resistance, and I didn't. Now, here's the thing. We're close to that major pivot right there at 312. And we were starting to reject before we can even get to it. So it is a little bit concerning right there. You can see the bear divs through here as well that need to be invalidated. Apple tries to attempt up. I didn't see anything funny in here besides the fact that it was attempting to roll down right here. Around 55. 55. I can't tell you what 55 is. I can just tell you what a mean is. And you can see the mean is right there. So want to hold on to that by all means. The green line right there is the mean. So it's at 307. Just say 307 and be done with it by rounding that up. You can see where you can consider this again to be like where your 200 is. So right here at our main pivot, it really needs to challenge itself to get above that pivot and flip it into support. Because I would tell you the last time it chopped it and lost it. So major pivot right there for Apple. Microsoft still doing the Microsoft stuff. I'm gonna tell you again, I really hate that I didn't keep my conviction on this short. I really hate that I let myself be shaken out on this short entry that I tried to take, and it made me close out everything. It made me close out Apple. It made me close out SanDisk. It made me close out Google. It made me close not Google, because I haven't closed out no Google. What else did I have open at the time? I got stopped out of ARM, by the way, in profits. But it's round tripping right now. ARM is round tripping, but I really hate I didn't keep my conviction on this dang on Google short. Man, I let it take me out. I let it make me get scared. Microsoft scared the crap out of me. I let it scare me. I could see that it was gonna roll over. I saw it. I see it. When them toppy signals come in, boy, I be in here looking for you. I be hunting for you. Be like, hey, we got something. And we haven't hit any extremes for me to be like, we probably got a long position. I haven't seen that here lately, so I'm sorry about that. We haven't. I just haven't seen it. I've just seen these short signals come in um, for price action, and that's been about it. Um, but this one, I got stopped out. Obviously, my stop loss was at break even after I managed to take some profits out of it. So that's what happened with this. I wanted to make sure I kept it on here. I'm gonna keep them on here anyway. At least this, without using any leverage or anything. Like it still looks good in my portfolio right now. So I'm not concerned about that. That part right there. I did see a lot of selling on, and these are not report. Some of these are not reporting anymore. I just haven't cleaned it up. Let's take a look at SMCI. All right, so it's been a lot of selling pressure coming in on SMCI. I'm still looking for this to hold around the 382 50% retracement, but there were tons of Form 4s filed for super microcomputer, lots and lots and lots. The kind that didn't require a 144. Okay, but I knew I was looking for a pullback on it. I knew that because we'd already made this move right here. So I was looking to see if we could put in a wave 4 right through here and get another push up for a wave 5. But I'm gonna show you this right here, SMCI. Let me just put that in here. All right, and then let's just share this tab over here. So you see the abundance of Form Form 4s that were filed, it didn't require them to file 144s for it at all. And you can see where all of these were filed on yesterday's date. So I wasn't going to go through and post all of this on X. I just wasn't going to do it. Yeah, I mean, it was too late. It was too late. The selling had already happened. They 4 days ago, 5 days now. But this right here, the code was like a code A on most of these right here. I think all of them was like a code A. You can see the one I actually clicked on. So I'm making an assumption right now. I hope I'm not lying on anybody. But yeah, I can tell you from this one right here, and I will have to put you over here so you can see this code A right here. It's a code A. So code A doesn't require them to file a 144 before making the sale. It kind of pissed me off with SMCI. And I know Super Microcomputers had some issues in the past. I know that. I know that. But they've made some changes, and people fail to talk about the changes that they made internally, structuring their company. But I mean, they still leave a bad taste. I still like what I'm seeing, so I'm still running with it. I'm sticking with it. Um, it ain't gonna have too much room with me. I'm gonna tell you, I don't play around too much. So looking for this to pull back into the 3.8 to 50%. Maybe it pauses out right there. Maybe it pauses there. That would be great. It doesn't even have to come all the way into here. I want to see another push to the upside for another wave higher. Do I get it? I got an alert set, but you can see we started to break. Like the fast break was through here. The fast break was through here. Um, and I didn't put a lot of emphasis on that one. I wanted to see this one right here. I wanted to see where this measured up with this return into the bullish boys right here. And I'm further away. I left this one in here because I want to see if we can't swing fail on it, reclaim above it. But we're moving further and further away from this top line right here. Momentum's not going to match. So it's going to chop around in here somewhere. Then I can make a decision. Hey, you know what? I need to put this on pause and then come back and revisit the idea of it. It was bought before earnings. I did add to it yesterday. Um, you can see why I added. It's like, okay, if you like it, I love it. Uh, we'll try that. So that was that. I got a ton of alerts going on over here. Look, I got them everywhere. Everywhere. I got these alerts everywhere. How do I get any sleep at night? I don't know. I got alerts everywhere. Uh, oh, I was about to look at I am debating this morning on my Nike position. If I can talk to you about it, I'm debating on it. It's still in my range of where I bought it, so I'm good. But um, I'm thinking about just cutting it. Why isn't it showing up? Am I don't know. Let me just. It's still in the range of where I bought it, but and again, I knew what the risk was when I decided to buy. I understood what my risk was. Let me put this on a higher time frame so you can see what I see. Do you see what I see? All right. So I have clearly defined levels in which I know price will can return to. Clearly, I know what what it can return to. I knew about that rejection potential right there at the 47.25. I know here to here is an option. I know it can come all the way down in here to $21 if it want to. I know all of that. That's the risk I was willing to take on it, and I am trying to see what Tim Cook does. I do want to see what he does with Nike. I want to see. It is Tim Cook, right? Sometimes, I forget a lot of stuff. I think it is. I want to see what he does. So I'm trying to hang on and manifest this dream of this thing just being the comeback kid. So not no, it's nothing because I'm still in where I bought at. Um, I'm still around where I bought at. 'Cause I bought right through the center, right through here. So I'm down a little bit, but I bought right through this center. And at some point, I gotta say, at some point I'm gonna have to make a decision. But I'm thinking, I'm thinking, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. So I just wanted to share that. I did not take a look at oil and let's see. The oil charts is gonna come up a little funny, a little funny, a little bit funny. Put on a 4 hour. I don't know what that blue background is and why it's showing up. I must have did something. This just stops. Okay. My computer is. We haven't done anything. Really. For me, we haven't done anything. We've been sitting around this gap for a minute. We haven't done anything. And when we really start to do something, okay. Um, to me, it's just still consolidating. Oh no, we can't have that. I don't do those. Um, that was a nice break out of that channel right there. Looks like it was a channel. Reclaims. I mean, it's still positive. MACD still above the zero line. What can you do with that? Nothing. Nothing really. Delta didn't move too far down. So it started out, like, hey, we rolling over. And then it just paused out and, MACD didn't break. It didn't break. It held its ground. Still holding its ground, going sideways, still trying to fester up higher. I need to move this. I didn't have anything through here anyway, really. I didn't have a pivot here yet. I didn't have one. You can see that's not a pivot. You want to see like an actual something like that. I didn't have that initially. Now I have it. So I can set it like that. Bear div. Bear div on the high. Okay. It's probably going to come down today, right? I think so. It's not broken yet, but it has the potential to roll over. Still close to the zero. Bear div, bear div, bear div. Could be looking for this to compress. But again, you can see the last compression didn't really give you too much, but it's rising. So it can, maybe, hopefully we can see something like that. But yeah, compressing. So there's a good chance that this rolls over today. See a bounce out of some stocks like MU. Yeah, yeah. See a bounce out of something like MU. Um, I haven't really paid attention to anything over here. Basically, I've been looking up here for the most part, as opposed to looking down here. I should have seen this coming. I should have. I mean, I know that I was looking for max pain as a rejection, max pain one, which is here, and then max pain two, which is there, or the trend line. But I figured if they had the muscles to push it up here, then I would look for a shorter opportunity up there. A little bit of a structure change here on the 4 hour time frame. Not nothing major through here at all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this little flag right here. Um, but I should have really paid attention to this happening in here, and I didn't. Should have really paid attention to the fact that you know this was rolling over. Um, it's a little too late right now. Let me see. Let me see. 12 hour. Okay, same situation here on the 12 actually. Unlike the initial, same situation. I don't see anything that bear div 24. Look like the bounce has been coming off of around about a 50. Let me see. I mean, these repeated bear divs, dang, they scaring the crap out of me. But anyway, it happens. Yeah, so it's been bouncing off of that 28. Um, every bounce is taking place off of that 28. Maybe it happens again. So 28 would be 28 is kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, what am I thinking about? Yeah, we had repeated bounces off of the 28. So this is the 28 right here, 750. So 750. Let's just say it started to roll over here on the 24-hour time frame. If it seriously started to roll over, it's nowhere near the rollover right now, as far as I can tell from it. It's just at a 7 right now, but 28 had been the repeated whole level. Um, so when I say 28, if you're not following along with me, I'm looking at this right here. That's 28. So here, switch this to a 28. So right here, 50, 50. If it left a wick behind, you notice it's not touching it. That's because it left a wick behind. This one right here actually broke below it right here, this particular move right here, and then it quickly reclaimed back above it. But all of those recoveries right here, they hit 28. They hit it right here, and then they wicked off. This one wicked off. That's why you can't tell it's touching it right there. If you were to switch to a 28, that's why you can't tell, because it wicked off of it right there. And this is the one where you actually see it break below 50. So that would be what it would be. I mean, if you just did the channel thing, like I did right here, also you could just use that as a reference to where your 28 is probably going to be at, unless it starts to rise away. If it starts to rise, then it's going to be different. Right now it is at 750, just to round that off. Okay, it's at 750. I'm gonna set this back on 14. So those are the three that I look at. I look at 7. So right now, if I were to actually let me just do that with you real quick. So if I were to change this to a 7, that's what I look at. You see we're sitting right here on the 50. That's what that represents. So I look at the 7, I look at the standard RSI 14, and I look at a 28. And then everything else means we're extended down to around 30 or lower if it was to drop into this right here. So with 30 or lower at that point, just like if you were using a 200 EMA, if you were hitting a 200 EMA, then you're likely somewhere around about a 30 to below RSI if you were moving down into it, right? So that's what that is right now with it sitting on that 7 right now is that. Another good example is right here. It was hitting the 7 until it comes back up and then it starts to break. It broke 7. It broke through 50 and it hit 28. So I had to put it back on 28 for you to see that. But I just wanted to share with you what I'm looking at, or when I say a number or something like that, like why I'm saying that. And those are my specific ones that I use. If you was using the EMAs, you would use 12 or 26. It's gonna cover your RSI, and it's also gonna cover your MACD at the same time because they're pretty close neck and neck with each other. If you were to use those numbers, so 12, 26, and 52 can basically get you the same results. 12, 26, and 52. Let me show you how that can do the same thing I'm doing right here. So it's a little off. It's ever so slightly off. Okay, ever so slightly off. That's why I go with my ribbons, because it's ever so slightly off, but it's close enough. It's close enough. You can see just how off they are. You see, they're not that far apart. So if you were using EMAs, that's what you would use. You would use a 12, a 26, and a 52 to be able to tell where you're at with your RSI and your MACD. So think of your 12 EMA as your MACD. Think of your 26 as your zero line. When those two cross each other, just like right here, then that means you're below the zero. That's what a 1226 is. That's why the MACD uses a 9, 12, and 26 for that reason. And the 12 and 26 means, hey, MACD is below zero line. And when these two start to get closer and closer together, you know you're getting close to crossing your zero line. Or when they cross, you cross your zero line. So do that. That's why I use those particular numbers. And then, like I said, you can use it on your RSI. You can say this is a 7. If I was trying to have a faster RSI, I would set it to a 7. The standard RSI is a 14. If I want to hold something a little bit longer, then I'm gonna go 28. So that would be 50. I'm sorry, if I was gonna hold something a little bit longer, then I would go 52. So 12, 26, and 52 on the EMAs, because it's people typically use those. That's what I do. Just figured I'd share that. And then, of course, like I said, if you're doing anything like a 200, then you're likely below your 30. Your 30. So that like if rolling over like this right here, like this, initially when you start dropping this, you likely dropping 30 on the RSI. You see where it's at, right? You see my cursor, 30s, right? You likely dropping 30 on the RSI when you do that below the 200. That's what you got happening. If it was up above you, then you would likely be crossing above 70. So people think of it as bullish. It just depends on where it is in context of things. It can be very bearish. Dropping below it can be the end of it. It can be, hey, I'm below it. Once I come back above, I'm leaving that territory. It's a nice runner in context to where it is with everything else. If I'm pushing above it, I may not have a reason to be bullish on crossing above a 200. I could be overextended, especially when my ribbons are not crossing above that 200. When they're not crossing above that 200, I'm probably just extended in my move and I'm going to break down. That's how you take that. That's how you deal with that. While I'm saying that, um, let me get back over here and see what's happening right here. Solana's still holding up. Chainlink pulling back because Bitcoin saw a little rejection off of that other area. Hyperliquid still holding up. I just got to see what I got on over here. See that? I just wanted to cover that with you. So I'm pushing up above this 200 right here. Or actually 200 is right here. So I'm pushing up above this 200 right here. You see where you are in context to the RSI and where your other ribbons are at, right? If they're still down below here, it could be that I'm going to start getting extended to the upside and I'm going to be looking for some sort of a pullback. So it's not always a positive thing. Just like right here, no, actually you didn't push above it right here. So point of control. This is one right here, but that's a little, it's going to be a little off from my ribbons, but you start to push up right here, 60, 66, 67 right there. Might be extended, especially with these not crossing above it and just price action alone. Yeah, I might be extended. That's all I'm trying to say to you. So I know that there are people who like to trade that, and people trade it, and it works, and it works, and it works. It also helps to have understanding. That's all I'm saying. Have some understanding of what it could mean. It may not be bullish. It may be bearish. I'm getting above my 200. Where my other ribbons at? Are they crossing above it, or are they lagging? Because if they're lagging, this can be very temporary, and I'm overextended, and I'm looking for a pullback. If they're crossing above it at the same time as price action crossing above the 200, okay, we got a whole nother story. We got a whole nother story. Hey, I probably should have taken that recovery, that swing fail. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna sit out on this one though. It did do two breaks. I did want to see that swing failure on it. I could consider it later. If this recovers above, then I'll consider it. I'm not gonna do it right now because it can just be a rejection. Are we going to get those plays? Is what I need to know. Let me make sure MU ain't over here messing me up. No, it's holding up. Okay, so we're doing all right there. Apple's doing okay. Google is, man, I'm so scared about Google right now. I don't want that bearish signal to like be the. I mean, but it will be what it will be, right? Ain't got no control over any of this stuff. Just try to do the best we can. I mean, still making higher highs and higher lows over here, so nothing has changed structurally, other than the fact that it had the bear divs in here up above the value area. um, low here of the macro range, which is gorgeous to see. Still toppy. Just want you to know that I would not be looking to buy in on this right now. Still toppy, very close to a major pivot. Um, for chain link, it's trying. It's been struggling through here. I probably wanted to go ahead and take my profit on this. I may just need to go ahead and take the profit on this and close this thing out. It's just a good little scalp. Um, and BNB, like I said, it has to close above it. If it ain't closing above it, it's playing. It's tormenting me right now. Tapping it, let it go off, and then it's like, psych, psych. Uh, yeah, but I haven't been stopped out yet, so I just stick with it. Back over here on Bitcoin. Um, Stalling right here. Um, that was FOMC day right here. We were looking at that short opportunity and it bust up through there and then it dropped down. Look, look, look. Sometimes it happens, but man, on the realest though, look at that beautiful gain. It could have been. It could have been. Just a little premature. A little premature. That's all. A little premature, but we was on the right track. That's all. Oh, stop it, Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin, it's my computer. I don't know. Sometimes it does this. I just did the refresh update on it and all that good stuff, but I don't have a lot of stuff open right now either. Um, I don't know what's dragging it. Man, look at the shorts that got liquidated on that pump right there yesterday. 53 million. 53 million short liquidations. Dang. And we're still closer to the liquidity that's in here, which is what I'm hoping for my long position. Than the liquidity in here, because if it rolls over, I'm gonna end up round tripping my bag. Because I promise you, I right now I haven't taken any profits out of that. The last time that we talked about Bitcoin, I was I was in the loan setup, and I was like, look, I'm probably gonna get stopped out, and that's okay. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out, and I got stopped out. So I took an L. Right now, I've made back my L plus some, but I haven't taken profit yet because I'm trying to get to my TP. And I'm risking the chance of round tripping my bag. Just trying to get to my TP. So it's been real positive, and then really not, and then real positive. The last time when it was initially up, I was up um 80%, and now I'm down to. I'm just gonna round it off to 59% right now. So I'm only up. Um, I'm only up 50% right, 60% right now on the long position. From down under, from down under, down here somewhere. But yeah, that's a blow fin 62 9 62 6. So I don't even know how I got it, but usually they're not that far off from each other. But I'm trying to get where my highs at. I think that my highs, not my highs, is up here. What you saw in the 4 hour time frame where the resistance is at. I'm trying to get it to there to take the profits on this thing. Um, I'm still holding that short. Is that our short? I think that's our short right there. I think that's our short. Or is this our short? This is our short. So I'm still holding this short right here. Um, so I'm just trying to get into here. If I get into here, this is my TP right here. So my TP is right here. If we can get into there where that golden pocket 786 is located at, we get to that, then I close out my long position. I might be closing it out prematurely. It may entice me to want to hold on to it, especially if I can get what I want to see out of that daily time frame. One thing we have not done for Bitcoin is it's hard to see it from right here. We're still below 50, right? So this is just a standard 14. I don't even know if I have Swiss in here. Yeah, I got it in here. Swiss right here. So if I'm looking at it from this stance right here, you can see how we're missing that mark on that 50. How we just been trading below it ever since we got the breakdown right here. Just like we did back here, we were trading below it and then we got above it and then we got that nice move up right there. We've been missing the mark. Like we're we're tapping into it, but we're not fully getting it. Like we little swing up above it, fall back down. Little swing up above it, fall back down. Little swing up above it. Please don't fall back down. I don't want it to fall back down. That'd be like 3 times of it falling back down right here. I don't want it to do that. So we're above it right now. If we can just get that momentum and get the pushing in here and get the pushing in here, then great. We're gonna see a bigger move out of Bitcoin if we can do that. But right now we're not getting it. Right now it's not happening. Right now it's not happening. So the equivalent of looking at it like that is to say we're not pushing above 60. I suppose this is using the body only. It's not using anything else. It's just using body. The way it's walking the line right here, though, is waiting on that explosive move out. I'm telling you, it's waiting on an explosive move out. Like we've been going sideways. Price action's just been going sideways, just been going sideways, just been going sideways. Right through here, just going sideways, going sideways. Positive MACD, positive delta right now. Can that change? It can still flick to the downside. It can do a flick to the downside too. I know that much. Um, but it is waiting on an explosive move. I'm pretty sure that this Bollinger Band is just tight across here, just tight, waiting on that move, that breakout. So above 60, I could see it. If it can break above, if it can flip 60, it can get bullish. But this is probably, yeah, this is just tight, just tightness, just tight consolidation. That's why we ain't doing nothing. Volatility is compressed, very compressed. We trapped in between our weekly high. I think this is weekly. Yeah, weekly. We're trapped in between our prior week high and our prior week low. Ain't that some crap? We're trapped in between our prior week high and our prior week low. It's almost like we're engulfing our prior week candle. That's gonna make me want to hold on to that trade. It's not gonna make me want to close it out right there. It's gonna make me want to be greedy if I'm blessed with it. If I'm blessed to have it, because I can't say that it happens. I can round trip it all the way back down. I have no idea. Um, but we have round trip that weekly candle. I didn't really pay attention to that. I really didn't pay attention to that. We've almost round tripped that weekly candle, and we ain't really went nowhere. Tongue tied. We haven't really went anywhere. We really haven't. We did the same thing over here. We just round trip that weekly candle. So we're about to round trip this weekly candle back up. Like we're just, man, this range. Symmetrical triangle? No. I didn't get symmetrical triangle vibes. I don't know why the Coin King keeps leaving the stream and then being asked to be put back in. What are we doing? I don't see a good pattern. I just see it's not a pattern as far as I can tell. This is just our consolidation range. And this is what I'm trying to get to right here. I'm trying to get to here for my TP. I'm gonna sync this in my layout, but let me just drag it in some so it's not, so I can see what we're calling it. Yeah, I'll do it like that. And I'm gonna delete it from here. Oh, no, I can't do that. Hold on. Let me drop down one and tell it current interval and below. That's our range. So you can take this Bollinger Band away. So if we expand out, then we know we're looking to break above here, above this candle right here. Or if we break down, then we're looking to break below that low right there. That's our expansion range right there. So now I can go over here and yeah, it's done. I don't have to delete it. It's gone. Because we've been coiling 1, 2. It's our third week being in this inside range right here. Last inside range we had was this one right over here, where we had all of these candles right here until we got the break above here, which is where we look for a short position afterwards on this break out of our upper bounds of our mother bar right there. And then we fell over, and then we had an inside range like we consistent with them insides, boy. And then we swept the liquidity right here. We got our bounce up. So let's see what happens right here. It hasn't been going too far. Every time we put in a range, we never got too far. So maybe it could just be, where I'm trying to get to for my TP could just be a rejection point. I would like for it to be more than that. But every time we did one, we didn't get too far. Like I said, we had this inside range right here. We took out the mother bar and then we dropped. We took out the mother bar and then we dropped. When we had the one right here, we took out the mother bar and then we dropped right there. So we took out the mother bar and then we dropped. Over here, we just straight up went down. Uh-oh, what was that about? Uh, we had the one here. We took out the mother bar to the downside and we kept going until we started to range again. We took it out, we dropped. We started to range again, we took it out, and then we dropped. We got here to this one right here. We swept the low and then we reclaimed because we pushed right directly into support. And then, of course, the one that we have right now, which is this right here. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. So it could be that we push up, we take out the liquidity right here, we roll over. It could be that. I mean, I'm not going to bank on the fact that it didn't survive every other time, but it could be that we push up because we're closer to the liquidity that's here, which is this right here. These two wicks up here is our liquidity that we're sitting closer to right now, along with what's at the mother candle right here. So maybe we just sweep up, we take that out, and then we roll over again. If you don't think that the low is already in. And if it's the opposite, this is our monthly 3 month. I went with 3 month. Yeah, I went with 3 month because just 4 candles is not going to do. So I went with the 3 month, which could be one huge inside range. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for me to go. Hopefully, MU market opens. MU can see that bounce because again, if it doesn't, you're going to lose to 200. Do not forget that. If you're into MU and you're doing the play on MU, if so, we don't we have an inside range right here from the monthly candle. All of this is just inside right now. Let me just turn those majors off. Let me see on this 3 month. Yeah. No, we took out that low, so we're not inside range here on the 3 month time frame. Yeah. So if you're in MU and you did take that play on MU, just remember that we're at critical level. Don't try to hold on to it. If I mean you're closer to an invalidation again than not. Hopefully we see some recovery. Um, Hopefully we see some recovery here. Still holding. Or if anything, maybe it's the point. Maybe it's the point in here where it'll put in the bull div on the 4 hour or something like that. Maybe it's to a point where that could be a possibility. But like I said, right now it is holding. It is continuing to hold in here. Opening with a green candle. It's just no volume in here right now. Um, I do want to be back above this trading trend line right here. Don't want that to be a resistance point. Can round trip. So just bear that in mind. Um, for MU. Besides that, I didn't really see anything that I would be like, hey, buy this. I didn't really see anything like that. There's opportunity there in terms of the stock market. Um, Apple, Apple unless the swing fails, because it does have the bear divs. Okay, it does have the bear divs. Please don't go short it. Please don't. Um, don't go short it. It does have the bear divs though, and earlier this morning, it was actually breaking down below that. It was doing a swing fail. Um, and aside from that, I didn't really see anything wrong with it. Um, NVIDIA, I have it on the second screen, not really this one too much. That's a nice little hold on the 4 hour here. Do want to see that stabilize and cover. Pretty much looking like you with that bear div and all that crap. Everything just got these bear divs everywhere, everywhere. You got a VWAP right here, two 215 or 216. You just say 216, round it up, it'd be 216. You do have a VWAP right here um, from this last touch here on your trend line. That VWAP there, still holding above that. A little slight bullish divs down here at the lows right here, but it's at a crossroad too. Got all this noise on, forgive me. You can see the multiple times that it got the little squeeze here on the move up. You can see that this right here and this height and this drop, and I mean this height and this pump and this height and this pump, bear div across everything, bear div there, bear div there, bear div, no bear div, no bear div there, no bear div there. Oh yes you do. What was talking about? Bear div, bear div, bear div, everything bear div. Everything bear div. Um on NVIDIA. I just really didn't see anything that I would play around with besides the possible potential on MU. Um, we're just in the center right here for me, for Microsoft. Uh, it is in a decent parallel channel. This might, I mean, you can see the delta is trying to push up above zero. This might stall out right here and push up. Maybe it just gets back here. I don't know. It's not the main break that I would be looking for. If we're below it right now, maybe it comes back into maybe you do a mean reversion here off the 4 hour time frame. It's at 31 right now. Apple crossing. Apple crossing. Is it dropping? Hold on. Let me see that real quick. I just said do not short Apple. It ain't crossing that line. What alert is going off? I got so many. I got so many alerts. I don't know which one is going off. I shouldn't have closed it out. I should have waited to see what time frame was that coming from. I don't know. It's not crossing this one right here though. Oh, just saying, don't short Apple. Please don't short Apple. I need to win. Microsoft, back up here, Microsoft. Maybe if, I don't know what, I couldn't tell. I didn't pay attention to it. Microsoft over here. Um, Perhaps right now there's no liquidity, no volume right now. It is trying to push above that zero right there, positive and all that good stuff right there. Um, it might be preparing to put in some bullish divs. You can see right here. It may be preparing to put in some bullish divs, and that could be your move. What I was going to say is where your mean reversion is at 487. It's going to be your mean reversion. So maybe it does tap back up here into this upper trend line right here, leave a wick. But your mean reversion is right there, 47. Um, a fast mean is 483, but your actual mean reversion standard is going to be right there, 487, as it stands right now anyway. Um, I need to see something break somewhere. I'm not really seeing anything like be aggressively sold. I mean, it'd be looking like it, but I'm not really seeing it yet. So still watching out on this. Initially, we did the back test here on the breakout trend line. We did the back test on that breakout trend line, and it looked like it was going to hold it. And I was all happy about it and everything. Like, okay, okay. I wasn't in Amazon because I know that people are still thinking about that. And the dude's still selling. Okay, he's still selling. So it is something to think about, right? I'm just gonna have to hit the extend on this. It's gonna be too much for me to go drag this out below the value area low. Now I said I wanted to see it at least hold that if it did. We're in the 382 50% retracement right now. I don't know. I think people just want to steer clear. I don't think people just want to steer clear. 618 and 2. So in between the 618 and 2 as well. If it does move up, it's possible that it could see a rejection just off of the 382.50 on the move back up. If it holds this, that could be. You don't want to see it take out that. If you're bearish, you don't want to see it taking out that. I'm going to assume that's neither here nor there. I'm not touching Amazon right now. Besides what I have in my actual portfolio, no leverage trade on it or anything like that. I would be inclined to take a bite out of it though. The first thing it's gonna hit, of course, again was that 7. Coming back up, you do it in reverse. So coming back up, that'll be your 40. Coming back up, coming down, you treat it like a 60, 50, 40. Coming down, coming up, 40. It's always gonna be 50, the green one, and then 60 right here. So your RSI read to be a 60 if it gets into this major pivot at 264. Your RSI be at a 60. Uh, tapping into that one, your RSI is going to be a 40 coming up. And 50 is always 50. RSI 40. I mean 60 coming down again, 60. So if you were using EMAs 12 and price is pulling back, you're looking at a 60. Unless it's below it. If it's below it and it's anywhere in the center or the 26, then you're looking at a 50 RSI. And then right here, of course, you're going to be looking at a 40. If price is pulling down, you're going to be looking at a 40 RSI. 40 RSI right there. And then you do the opposite coming up, like I said. So you know where you're at on your RSI. Because I trade a lot with RSI, momentum, all that good stuff. I might be inclined to, I don't know, we'll have to see. The first thing it's going to do is put in a bear dip, obviously, unless the market just really gets aggressive and pushes up. But it's going to be a little bit of a problem in here. But that's all I got. I really don't have anything else. Oh, SpaceX. Today is the 19th. Do not forget. I remind you every time I get in here and I do a stream. Do not forget. We have tons of shares hitting the market tomorrow. August 20th unlock. August 20th unlock. Nobody does anything for this. This automatically hits the market, period, point blank. It's not about who chooses to sell. That's not that kind of unlock. It is an unlock that hits the market. Just shares get released to the market. That affects overall price on SpaceX. Okay, so just remember that August 20th, tomorrow. Tomorrow's unlock. Tomorrow's unlocks. Okay, I can't remember how many shares it is. I have it. Let me see how much of a hard time my thing gives me, so I can make sure. I know I posted it on X. You find my SpaceX presentation. You can always go back to that and look at it. Oh, you know what? Why am I doing that? I downloaded it myself, but if you go to X, it will open. I think it opens a link and it takes you to that unlock schedule, the vested schedule for SpaceX if you need to see that. So let me just open that file. Where you at, SpaceX? Did I? Oh. I think it's the third, fourth, fourth page. Come on, PC, because I'm gonna have to refresh this PC. No, second one, third one, whatever. August 20th. There we go. So August 20th, um, 319 million shares that was subject to the 180-day lockup period. That's going to hit the market. So just understand that's just automatic. That's automatic. Again, that's just shares that hit the market. That's different from the previous the prior unlock that we had. It's different from that one because that was where investors had, if you bought, then you could sell if you wanted to. And being that price was down, I was like, people ain't gonna. I mean, who's selling at a loss? Like, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. Just take an L. I mean, you can, but shoot, nah, I bought, but that's that. And I think down here, where we at? Right here, it fully explains it right here. So the August 20th unlocks. This is just automatic. It is not dependent on earnings or stock price performance or any of that right there. The only people who don't get to unlock is these people right here. These people right here. So they don't get to unlock, but that's 7% of shares. That's 7% of the shares that are going to be unlocked. That's 319 million shares hitting the market tomorrow. Different from this right here. This 911 million shares, that was just the general unlock for people who bought IPO, who can now choose to sell if they want to. That was a choice. This is just happening. This was a choice. This is just happening. And this right here didn't take place because we didn't meet the expectations on that. So that not expected. So that whole presentation is on X. I know I did it. So you can always just go find it on the website, and it's public information. I just did the due diligence on it myself and shared with you what I knew. So that was that on the SpaceX scenario. Just be aware of that. Tomorrow, August 20th, that unlock is happening. And I love and appreciate you. And I see you in the next stream. I'll see you on X as well. So I will be posting my stream, boy. This thing's just giving me the hardest time right now. Right now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.